entry from early last December, but it fit. I have a theory that people are at the most honest and real the instant we wake up. After that moment, our brains get in the way and make us guarded or overanalyze things. I was staring at the ceiling of a Nashville studio apartment. A white kitten traversing the quilt stumbled over my legs and into the red-headed beauty next to me. She stirred and stretched, and when I kissed her on the cheek, her eyes drifted open. "You love me," she said with a giggle. I was silent. I'd never heard feelings expressed that way before. "You don't have to say anything, I know I'm right." We met at an art installation on Friday the week before. It was magical, and it turned into a first date that lasted 3 days. She was perfect, and we was like peas and carrots. The following weeks were a blur of joy. Many weeknights were spent on the phone or at the computer discussing art or philosophy or how we gained meaning from life. Weekends were bouncing between the scenic city and the music city. We always packed in a flurry of activity to make the most of the time we could spend together. We went on hikes and to hockey games and stargazing and music festivals and attended ballet, and I took her to a county fair and introduced her to the wonder that is the deep-fried Oreo cookie. We made crafts and enjoyed food and shared passion that left us sweaty and grinning and covered in marks no one recalled earning. I stumbled into an interesting photography technique. I'd sneak my phone out of my pocket while we were walking, let her get a step ahead of me, and then tug on her hand to take a picture. The resulting image was fucking adorable. Our hands were linked at the bottom of the frame, her looking back at me with a playful grin. I shared it once with a close friend. "This is her. I think I finally met my person," I said, describing the girl in the photos. I did it on purpose after that and built an album chronicling our time together. My life changed one Saturday morning in Chattanooga. She stirred and stretched, and when I kissed her on the cheek, her eyes drifted open. "I love you." I knew the words, but these were transformative, and I felt like I'd never truly heard them before. I repeated this sentiment back to her and felt whole. We picked up breakfast and sat down on a bench in the middle of the Walnut Street pedestrian bridge to eat and chat when her phone rang. She turned green. "I'll be right there," she said with panic in her voice, returning the phone to her purse. "We have to go." Her mother was in a hospital in Florida. A severe stroke. I gave her whatever cash I had in my wallet and stuffed it in her car to send her south. "This doesn't change anything right now," I told her through the window. "Whatever happens, we can try to manage it." Projects were abandoned and plans were canceled, and that afternoon's agenda to shop for vacation destinations and plane tickets never happened. She spent the following few weeks going back and forth to Florida for hospital visits and to handle her mother's affairs. She'd occasionally sneak into my apartment in the middle of a Sunday night to shower and nap before finishing her commute to Nashville to go back to work. I'd visit her place on weekends to clean or run errands or care for pets. Her mother's health was complicated, and she drifted in and out of intensive care several times in the first several weeks. The chats and calls that the girl and I used to cherish became more tense. After her mother's health stabilized, we started preparing for the future, handling business, looking for places to move. She spent a weekend or two in a row at home, and I would nudge her into keeping the occasional date night. It was important to me that she remembered to feel like a real person amidst all the chaos. Then came the move. The new house was in the same neighborhood, and we spent consecutive weekends moving 2 single ladies worth of stuff, a couple of cats, and her mom's dog into their new home. Everything was ready for whatever this new life, whatever this new normal was going to look like. A weekend later, I finally met the woman herself. I knew strokes were debilitating, but it was only academic to me. She got around on a walker, but slowly. Her vocabulary was composed of "yeah" and "no." She couldn't cook or bathe or dress by herself, and our medical system did not provide any assistance or rehabilitation. Everyone was overcome with frustration. Life wasn't going to be easy, but this girl had handled everything like a superhero. I embraced her before heading home one Sunday night and told her everything was going to be okay. A few days pass. A message pops up on my computer. "The this thing isn't going to work. Life is different now. She said she couldn't keep up a full-time job, freelance writing, being a caretaker, and still manage a long-distance relationship. I challenged her on it hard, told her that things could still work out, that what happened to her mom didn't change the thing that we were building, but my arguments weren't convincing. That was it. I begged to let me join her on the struggle to come, but instead she set me free of what I know will be a difficult life for months and years. A friend said I dodged a bullet. I said he's an asshole. I still feel guilty because I can't save her. I feel like a monster because I resent her pitiful mother, and I feel worse because maybe that asshole is onto something. I miss her, but I did avoid a huge burden. Their relationship was 5 weeks of bliss and 12 of challenge. I held on to the fond memories we made, the lessons learned, but I'm truly left with bittersweet nothing.
Write a book, dog.